Hello and welcome to this edition of Piedmont Business Live. We're here with Rhino McNeill, who is the owner of Very Personal Sales Coaching. Rhino, thanks so much for being with us today.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you very much, Ken.
Tell me what a sales coach does, first of all.
Ken, well, you know how there are so many people with wonderful services to offer. I mean, like coaching, consulting, intangible services.
Right.
And a lot of them, even though they have great things to offer, a lot of them are only vague at how to sell it, or they're using antiquated selling methodologies. And because they're not sure how to sell it, they don't know well how to sell it, they don't earn nearly the money that they could.
Right.
But what I do is I help those people with great services. I help them to actually sell their services better than they ever have before through my coaching services, so they earn more money than they ever have before.
So how long have you been doing this?
This is my first day. No, actually,
I hope not.
No, I've been helping people to sell better since 1993.
How about that? Now, since 93, has selling changed a lot since then?
It's changed tremendously. It's changed tremendously, not only since 93 to now, but it's changed tremendously to me in the last 5 years.
Really?
Yes, back in the 90s, Ken, when salespeople still had the advantage over the consumer, I thought the key back then to being a great salesperson was being a great closer.
Right.
So all I did was study closing, and I would practice on how to close sales and how to overcome objection, because back then I thought that was the key.
Right.
And if a potential client tried to commit the crime of not buying what I sold, I would just practice on them. I would just do one close after another. I would do a Ben Franklin close, a paper fold close, a contest close, an airplane close. I would just a this or that close, here and now close. I would just keep doing close, keep my face decorated with a smile, and just practice on them until they either bought from me or kicked me out. Well, today no one would tolerate that.
Right.
No one can get away with that. And no salesperson has the advantage over the consumer anymore because everyone has access to Google. Very often today, the clients that we call on, they know as much as the salesperson, if not more. So some of the techniques we used back then are gone and never going to return again. I mean, today, you have got to be the most honest guy in the room because you can't fool anybody.
Right.
You know. So today, I really believe the salesperson who succeeds today is the one that prospects well, the one that markets well, and the one that sells to the right people.
I haven't thought of that before, but it makes a lot of sense. Since consumers are so much more educated about products and services and have so much information at their fingertips, it is a very different world when it comes to selling.
And not only different, the pendulum swinging back the way it has, Ken, I want to tell you and your listening audience here, I think it's created a much more wimpy salesperson today than ever before, because people don't want to come across as a salesperson, and they don't want to come across any kind of way. So now salespeople will tolerate any objection. If the customer bucks at all, they're done. Okay. Well, let me think about it. Absolutely, you can think about it. Okay. When all that client needed was to be offered it the right way.
Gotcha. So what do you see as one of the primary challenges in selling today?
One of the primary challenges in selling today is, first off, selling these people today, the primary challenge is not having to reinvent yourself every day or not have to restart your business from month to month to month. I think the skill of letting this month and next month build on this month. That's a big challenge people are tending to have. So you should be earning more money next month than this month if you allow these months to build on each other. But it's because of lack of skills and lack of training and fear out there. That's a big challenge. And frankly, so many people that have great services to offer, they miss money that should be theirs easily every month because they don't have good tracking systems and they neglect the magic numbers. And so there's some numbers that everyone needs to know. And if you don't understand these numbers, you're going to miss money that should be yours every month.
I would imagine that, especially for entrepreneurs, that you can have great product knowledge or knowledge about your service and can be a master at those things. But if you don't communicate those things well and can't sell them effectively, it doesn't matter.
Right. And actually, today's consumer assumes excellence almost.
Right.
They assumes everyone can be good enough. And what these salespeople need to understand, or these business people need to understand, you're not competing against other companies. You compete against other companies' selling efforts. That's all.
I see.
So if you can sell it better, you can win.
So do you think it's more or less difficult to sell today than it was 20 years ago?
It's entirely easier to sell today
Really?
if you do it the right way. Now, if you're trying to sell today using yesterday's methodologies, it's much more difficult.
Right.
I went to a business meeting not too long ago, and they were talking about how you should set up some in your phone and just get out your list and start dialing for dollars, smiling for dollars, smile and dial, and just keep dialing until you get someone that'll listen to your presentation. Are you kidding me? No one can do it that way. Now, that might have worked in the 50s and 60s, but that's not going to work in 2016.
Right.
So that's a prescription for pain. So if you sell today the way today's consumer buys, then it can be a much easier process.
Okay. So can you teach me something right now that could benefit me and the listening audience in sales this moment?
Absolutely, I can.
All right.
Okay, how courageous are you?
Well, I'm as courageous as the next guy.
Okay, good. Because I think the biggest challenge, and it's so basic, and I see it happen all the time. I'm going to do something with you now.
Okay.
I'm going to put you in a scene.
All right.
And let's say that you're at a business mixer, like a party.
Okay.
And no loud music, nothing like that, no one drinking heavily, just a mixer.
Okay.
And you end up in a huddle where there's a couple of guys, a couple of ladies just happen to be standing near each other. So you end up in friendly party conversation. And then the conversation swings around to you and they say, Ken, what do you do for a living? Now, in that scene, how would you answer that question?
For me, I would say I help people, companies, businesses to take the vision they have for their product or service and bring that vision to life through video to help them sell what it is that they bring to the customer.
All right, that's question one. Very good. Now, question two, we're not at the party anymore, it's just you and I talking. Question two is, who would pay for your services?
Businesses of any size who want to communicate their unique selling proposition, communicate what it is that they do and how they benefit others.
And those businesses that choose to hire you, what do you call them then? Do you call them clients, customers? What do you call them?
Typically call them clients.
Clients. Okay, third question, final question. We're not at the party, just you and I talking. What business are you in?
Video production business.
Okay. Now, this is going to sound bold, okay?
Okay.
And take it cafeteria style.
Okay.
Take the parts that work for you and discard the stuff you don't want.
Okay.
Okay. But I would submit to you that you're not in the video production business.
Okay.
That's a service that you provide. Your business is capturing and keeping a new client because all your money comes from new clients, right? Or current clients.
Right.
So I would say your real business, your daily focus is capturing and keeping a new client. Now, that's not what you tell people, but that's what I want you to know. Now, I'm going to pretend I'm in your business.
Okay.
I want you to ask me what do I do for a living.
Brian, what do you do for a living?
Ken, you know how there are so many companies out here that try to get themselves separated from the pack. They try to get their message out the way they want to get it out, and they try all kinds of things, and they just still have great difficulties to do that. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Well, what I do is I actually help businesses to distinguish themselves, and I do it through professional videos. I show them how they can distinguish themselves from the competition and put themselves the right way out there so that the people that they want to find their message can get the message that they want the right way, and their whole lives become a whole lot easier in marketing their business.
You're hired.
Now, did you like that?
I did.
Now, there was no magic in that. I followed a formula. So when I asked you what you did for a living, you gave me a very good answer, but you gave me a very good and descriptive answer. That's nice, that's good, but descriptive doesn't sell. What sells is the problem. Now, when you ask me and I say, I'm gonna pretend I'm in your business, because I don't understand your game nearly as you do, it took me a little bit longer.
Right.
But what I said was, you know how, and then I tried to make it sound like an easy to agree upon problem. So it took me a few sentences, and what I was looking for is for you to agree it's a problem. I was gonna keep talking until you started agreeing it was a problem.
Makes
but
sense.
once you started agreeing it was a problem, yeah, I said, you know what I mean? Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Now, at that moment that you've agreed with me that it's a problem, you have metaphorically taken me by the hand. Now I can take you on a journey. When you describe it, you never take me by the hand.
Right.
So I said, you know how so many businesses have a challenge distinguishing themselves from the pack? They try all kinds of things, and they're just not sure what works, and they just sometimes get frustrated by it. And then you saw the light. You saw, oh, yes, I can agree that's a problem. Then I introduced myself as a solution to the problem. Well, what I do is, and I set it up as if I'm a solution to the problem that you just agreed was a problem. So now you're really with me.
And me as the potential client, when I see, oh wow, that's a problem I've seen before, and the solution staring me right in the eye.
And then the most important part was the ending. Your ending wasn't great, okay, but it's going to be now.
Okay.
The ending is the most important part. The so that they can. Why should I even listen to what you just told me? What's the great big benefit to the hearer? So that they can what? So that they can be less stressed, so that they can earn more money, so that they can distinguish themselves, so that they can go to, so that they can do something. You have to say what is the benefit, so that they can. And it needs to sound like an easy to agree upon, obvious big benefit. You don't have to tell all of the benefits, but at least one big one. If you don't tell them so that they can, I do all of these great things so that they can do this. If you don't do that, they can't refer you. Gotcha. They can never refer you. And it's even worse. It's almost as if you didn't have benefits if you don't say it for them. It's the elephant in the room. They know it's there and you know it's there, but they're not confident enough to relay your benefits to someone else unless you make it plain. So that they can blah, blah, blah.
That's fantastic. You're hired.
Thank you.
Well, tell me, kind of switching gears a little bit.
Okay.
How important is faith in your work?
You know, when I came here today, and you said I can, you know, you were talking with me, you were saying, well, this is old hat for you, Brian. You've done it a bunch of times. I guess you've done your due diligence, your research. And when I watch myself on videos and TV shows and things like that, I'm very often surprised how often I reference God, how often I talk about my faith, how often I mention, you know, well, I prayed about this and we thought about this and, you know, well, thank God and praise God. And it's because I am at a place in my life. First off, I'm Christian, first, second, and third. But I realize I cannot do any of these things I do. I do some really cool, great, dynamic things, but I have no power to do any of them without God's help. And I don't try to be the end-all, be-all. You know, I really believe in taking things to the cross and leaving it there. And I really believe, brother, that I am God's hands and feet and eyes here on the earth. And I believe he has uniquely positioned me to help people to sell services. So it's not just my work, it's my ministry. And it's almost like the sin of the desert if I don't do it. The sin of the desert is when you know where the water is, but you won't tell anyone else. You know, if I know I can help someone and I don't tell them for whatever reason, either because of fear or tiredness or don't feel like it, whatever, if I don't help someone that I know I could, I'm committing the sin of the desert. Now, I help people to sell better, and I kind of owe it to them to help it.
That's fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
How important are teammates and assistants or virtual assistants?
Wow. I am learning better and better how to use teammates and assistants. There's one great book on selling called Walk Like a Giant, Sell Like a Madman. And chapter 4 of that book was talking about assistants. And he's talking about how if you don't have a great assistant, that means you are one. Okay?
Yeah.
And isn't that a gut punch? Because he's right. Without my assistants, that means I'm doing the stuff that they would be doing, that they're doing right now. So that means I am a great assistant instead of just a great sales coach and a salesperson. So what I've learned is to accept help. One of the best bits of advice I ever got, I got it late last year. And she told me, this lady told me, I asked her, what's the, if you had to do over again? And I said, what would you do differently? She says, well, Brian, I would have asked for more help and I would have been willing to accept more help. To me, that is some of the most profound advice I ever got. Ask for more help and be willing to accept more help. So now I have 2 other ladies that kind of run the office with me, and we have 3 other people that are assistants to us. And everyone has work to do. And now, because I have great assistants now I can actually free myself up to take on more projects. And even though I pay assistants now, I make more money. Amazing how that works.
Makes sense. And as an entrepreneur, I think probably most entrepreneurs find that the hardest thing to do is to let go and trust some of this work to somebody else because we feel so much ownership of it.
You know, And it's not natural to let go. I really believe there is a business for someone, not for me, but teaching people how to let go, teaching people how to accept help, but because I didn't know how to do it. So I bumped my head trying to figure it out. Okay, could you do this for me here, da-da-da-da? And then I'm 5 minutes later, how's it going? I mean, did you check it this way? That's not giving up help, I have to learn to only manage the outcome, okay? I would like these things done and these things researched, and then let it go.
Let it go.
And if I feel pensive about it, I have to do that in my office with the door closed because I can't let them see that.
Right. Makes sense. Brian, you are a delight to talk to, and I appreciate you being here with us. And if you would like to know more about Brian McNeill and very personal sales coaching, you can visit his website. It'll be at the end of this video, and it's also at the bottom of this page. All of his contact information is there, so feel free to give him a call or send him an email. Brian, thanks so much for being with us today, and we appreciate you tuning in to Piedmont Business Live. We'll see you again next time.